radio show, and those who watch me on YouTube, we are back live on YouTube, which I was having some issues with in the first segment there. But calls on hold, stand by. It is also, of course, open phones today at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Friday is open MAGA Mike Friday, where everything is open phones, right, on Friday's show. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game to discuss. You're not limited to just the topics that we bring up on the program, guys, okay? So I want to talk about, before I take the calls, though, because I do want to bring up a couple of things. And one of those important things is what Jack Smith is doing. Jack Smith, who is attempting to do something that has never been done, not at least in the modern times, has not been done in the lifetime of anyone who is currently alive, and that is put a president of the United States in prison. You know, they even let, I want you guys to think about this, okay? I want you to think about what I'm about to tell you here. And this is an important thing with this new scheme that they're doing, this Super Tuesday scheme, which is really rough. President Trump did not take part in an insurrection against the United States. And January 6th, if you've noticed, in the mainstream corporate media, they no longer refer to it as an insurrection. They've silently turned it into many other things. Some call it even a protest. In liberal corporate media, January 6th has been referred to a protest. I've heard that multiple times. In liberal corporate media, some a demonstration, all kinds of things, but insurrection has been removed. But they're trying to put President Trump in prison, they tell us, because he took part in an insurrection that he's been cleared of multiple times. Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederate States of America. Right? He was a Democrat senator, and he led an insurrection against the United States government. The Democrat insurrection against the United States government was led by the Confederate president, Jefferson Davis. Over 500,000 Americans died in that war. Some say many more because of the dates and everything in the era. We don't have accurate numbers, but at least 500,000 of Americans died in the Democrat insurrection led by Confederate President Jefferson Davis. They even let Jefferson Davis go free. Now, he was tracked down at the end of the Civil War and held for a while, but they even let Jefferson Davis go free, who led a very deadly insurrection. Not only did Jefferson Davis, who led an insurrection, go free, all of the Confederate generals who were responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands went free. And that was clearly an insurrection. The Confederate soldiers who took part in the insurrection against the federal government in the Civil War all even are considered veterans. You know, if you go to an old veterans cemetery, you'll see this. And I made a YouTube video last year on Memorial Day at an old cemetery not too far from where I'm standing in West Palm Beach, down the street from Mar-a-Lago, across the street from the Norton Art Museum. And they have Civil War, they have a whole section of Civil War veterans. They're all Confederates because Florida was part of the Confederacy, and Confederate veterans actually were considered U.S. veterans under the law. And that was a real insurrection, the Civil War, a real and sick and sad but true insurrection. There were no consequences for those who led what is truly an insurrection against the government. So this idea that President Trump, who had nothing to do with January 6th, mind you, nothing to do with it, and they're not even calling it an insurrection any longer in the mainstream media, should be held accountable for anything and be prosecuted is insane. It's clearly insane. Now, it is open phones, but I do want to get a couple things out before I go to the phones, okay? This trial date that Jack Smith is doing, he's trying to get the judge to move the trial to start in January. And they think the trial will take about 8 weeks. But you never know. Once a court case starts, who knows, right? So let me go through this article. This is in the Daily Beast. Special counsel Jack Smith's office wants to put President Trump on trial for his attempted coup, they say, in January next year. A move that, if approved by a judge, could brand him a felon before the biggest GOP presidential primaries. That's Super Tuesday. Now, on Super Tuesday, I don't have the exact count, I haven't counted, but there are about 12 primaries that are held on Super Tuesday in March. Now, it changes each election cycle, the exact number of states and delegates, but it averages to about 1/3 of the nominating delegates are chosen on Super Tuesday. In a filing Thursday, Jack Smith's office proposed a trial date of January 2nd, 2024, which they say will take no longer than 4 to 6 weeks. Should the judge approve the date, Trump's trial could be done and dusted before the primaries in South Carolina and Michigan, with plenty of time before the delegate-rich slate of Super Tuesday states in March. And this is, just one of the cases. This is insane. This looks like what it is, and there's no getting around it. But as I said at the top of the show, this is what the life of Donald Trump is going to be like for the rest of his life. President Carter is sadly in hospice. I know, who likes Jimmy Carter, huh? He was president so long ago. I mean, I remember Jimmy Carter being president, but it's a blur because I was a little kid. When President Carter passes away, hopefully it won't be for a long time, but he's been in hospice for a while. And I saw his grandson on TV a couple days ago, and he was very upset and emotional. They're going to have a state funeral that presidents get. It's going to be massive. Massive. A one-term president who was president before most people in America were born. It's going to be a massive state funeral. He'll lie in state and everything else. They will not even invite President Trump to that funeral. He won't be allowed. He'll be disinvited. He'll get a notice that he's not invited. They don't even consider him having ever been president because he's not part of the club. See, these other presidents, all of them have been groomed and handpicked at different points in their life, but many of them groomed for years. There is not a single person that has been president of the United States except Donald Trump who has not either been born and raised in the political class or was recruited at some point in their adult life and compromised by the donors. And that even goes for General Eisenhower. And General Eisenhower warned us of the military-industrial complex, but he never owned a house in his life until after he was out of the Army. He got very rich, and his rich golf buddies are the ones who backed him to be president. So he was under the control of those donors. Every president has been. Every single one of them, except Trump. And they've lost control, and they can't allow that loss of control to continue. And because he wasn't groomed, raised, bribed, or blackmailed, or groomed his entire life to be president, they don't accept that he ever was president. And he doesn't get the honors or anything that the other presidents would get. And they feel totally justified in their actions. You got to understand how evil people think. Evil people, for the most part, don't view themselves as evil. You know, Ted Bundy, the famous Florida serial killer, would trick girls to get into his VW Bug. And he was such a sicko, he thought the girls deserved it. You know why he thought they deserved it? Because they got in his car. He was able to trick them to get into his car. He justified his murders because they got in his car. You understand? And that's what we're dealing with these uniparty, deranged Jack Smith types and these jerks that are running against him in the Republican Party primary. All of them. They don't view themselves as doing anything wrong. In fact, they view themselves as heroes and heroines who are saving the country from Donald Trump, which is pretty twisted. Now, we're going to take a break. I'll take some calls after the break. I got a lot to share, but it is Open Phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday, which means any and everything that's on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. You are not limited to the topics that I bring up. Our number is toll-free 1-888-GO-CANE1, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Hey guys, yeah, I was having some internet connectivity issues with YouTube, so the first segment you guys missed, and it was a good one. That happens sometimes. Let's see. I'm still getting organized. Mike and I were talking before I went on the air, and I lost track of time. And before I knew it, it was time to go on the air. So I'm just not 100% set up. Okay, I'm all organized now. That happens, guys. Make sure that you share the stream on all your socials, like the video and everything. I had to delete the previous stream. And I will be live streaming and podcasting throughout the weekend, guys, so keep an eye out for those. I bought plane tickets to go visit my daughter in California in a few weeks. I have not flown in years. It's been years since I've flown. And I hate flying. I've never enjoyed flying. I hate flying. So what I usually do when I fly is I get to the airport about an hour earlier than I need to. And after I get checked in and everything, I go to the bar in the terminal and I have like 3, maybe 4 screwdrivers with absolute and feel a little loose, and so that I can calm my nerves for takeoff, and then I go to sleep and wake up when we're landing. I hate flying. Hate it. Usually maybe a little Absolute with cranberry and some sour maybe, but screwdrivers are my flight drink. I hate flying. Tito's? Yeah, I have Tito's. I have Tito's in my freezer at home. But it's a tradition for me to have the absolute with the screwdrivers at the airport. I don't want to break my good luck streak, you know. But no, I drink Tito's. I have Tito's in my freezer. I make martinis at home with Tito's. I'm more worried about all these lunatics on airplanes today. That's the main reason I'm not crazy about flying. Like every day, I go on social media every day. There's some lunatic having a meltdown on a plane. Yeah. Man, I don't want to be up in a tin tube in the sky with this lunatic who's hallucinating, you know, who thinks people on the plane aren't real. You know?
Celebrating 46 years on the...
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Rob from California, Brian.
Hey, Rob. What's up?
Hey, listen, I have an idea. Okay, first of all, I want to say something. The Steve Kane Show started in 1977, and that was when President Carter was president.
Correct.
I just want to bring that up.
Yeah, but I was not on the show then. That was before my. You know, Steve actually had President Carter on the show, and I think he hung up on Steve. I can't remember. Maybe I wasn't with the show then, but Steve has told me about it a few times, but I don't remember all the details.
I think you were in grade school in 1977.
In 1977, I was 6, and I was in kindergarten.
Yep, grade school.
Yeah.
Now, I came up with a good idea yesterday. First of all, I don't think Trump should go to that debate. I'm pretty sure he's not. But I also think he should throw a rally that same night, because that will draw oxygen out of that.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Okay, so on that, because I was talking with Steve about this last night on the phone. The problem with that is, okay, he did that once before. In the first campaign against Hillary Clinton, there was an event, and I want to say a debate that he skipped, and he did a rally that night, and the rally was carried on television, and it was a huge rally and everything else. But now they don't even carry him normally, and this is a Fox News debate. If he were to do another event at the same time, okay, there's no way, there's a very strong possibility that he would have lower ratings than the debate, because no one's going to carry it except Newsmax, and I love Newsmax, but they're not on enough cable outlets. You understand what I'm saying? So if he did that, the story the next day very well could be the Republican Fox News primary debate had higher ratings than whatever President Trump was doing. So I think he should do nothing. He should just ignore it.
About that, so maybe you're right. Because I was thinking if he did do that, that would be a giant middle finger to Fox as well.
You know, Fox yesterday, they've been really sucking up to Trump. But I saw a clip online yesterday of Steve Doocy defending Biden and his crimes. You know, this is I think he should do nothing up against it, because he could not get a platform on television that would carry it with the possibility of having very high ratings to draw, to bring, No, we don't want a story the next day that the Fox News debate without Trump beat him in the ratings. That would be bad.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, yeah, my cable company doesn't cover Newsmax.
Oh, it's too bad.
I've been asking them to get it. I have Roku, so at least I can watch it on Roku.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Is that it?
Good weekend, man.
You too. You too. All right. Take care. Take care. First call of the day, a nice call. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You're right about this thing. This is all about Trump not being in the club, right? What they're doing to him. It's all about him not being. He proved that if you have the means and you have the drive, you can become president, and you don't have to be in the club.
Well, Jonah Goldberg, I think it was Jonah Goldberg. I tweeted this. It was on CNN yesterday, and he was attacking small donors as opposed to corporate donors. He was talking about how small individual donors, someone like you or me, if we donate, we've got an angry grievance. But corporate donors have a well thought out reason for donating, and it's more just and everything. They just don't like the idea that we have a voice.
Right. They don't like that. This isn't just about President Trump. This is about anybody else who comes after President Trump, telling them that you have to be in the club or else you got no shot at it.
Well, that's right. And they want to control them. I remember there was an episode of The West Wing with Martin Sheen. And I know it was a TV show. I understand. But there was an episode of The West Wing, and in one season he was running for re-election, President Bartlett, on The West Wing, and he did a fundraiser in California, and he had to go to the mansion of a billionaire gay Democrat to suck up to him because he had donated a lot of money to both of his campaigns, and he wasn't doing enough, and he had to go. There was a whole episode where he had to grovel to this guy. And I know that's fiction, but the people behind that show are people from the real world of presidential politics. And Donald Trump doesn't have to grovel to these rich donors. That's the way it is, and they hate him for it.
They hate him for it, and look, the last time somebody like Trump came around, and you may think I'm smoking rope about this, but was our friend from the 1990s, Ross Perot. Now, he was kind of a flake, but again, he wasn't tied to a party. He wasn't tied.
I don't agree with that. But I appreciate the call, Mike. I want to expand on what you said about Ross Perot. Okay, he likes to hang up first. When I say I got to hang up on Mike before I say I'm going to let him go, because when you're hosting the show, you want to be the one that hangs up first, not the caller. You know what I mean? But anyway. Sorry, Mike. No, Ross Perot was not like Donald Trump. And I did not realize this at the time. That election was the first election I was old enough to vote in for president. And I voted for Ross Perot because of that Richard Crenna movie that they made where Richard Crenna from Rambo played Ross Perot. Ross Perot was, I believe, a Democrat operative. Yeah. I believe that, and I just realized this a few months ago. And if you know that George H.W. Bush 1, had a 90% approval rating at the end of the Gulf War, and like a year later, he lost the presidency to this hick from Arkansas, right? And he lost because of Ross Perot. And everyone knows this. President Clinton did not have the majority vote. He had 37% of the vote or so, 40 at most, because Ross Perot split the Republican vote. And I never thought too much about it until a few months ago. I was watching a documentary about the Tonkin Gulf incident. The Tonkin Gulf incident, for those that don't, I know a lot of you guys know, okay, but we have liberals listening, so I have to take out the crayons. There's Gen Z and millennials out there. They don't teach this stuff in school. But the Tonkin Gulf incident was the lie that Lyndon Johnson, Democrat Lyndon Johnson, set up to get us involved in full-scale war in Vietnam. In the Tonkin Gulf incident, there was a fake attack on a U.S. naval vessel. Fake attack. They claimed that the North Vietnamese attacked a U.S., I believe it was it a destroyer? And everyone has known forever and ever that that was total BS. The North Vietnamese had no navy. They did not attack a destroyer. But the attack on the destroyer was what Johnson used to get us into full-scale war in Vietnam. And there's a whole wall of names on it of people that are dead because of that lie of Democrat Lyndon Johnson's, okay? So fast forward, I'm watching this documentary on the Tonkin Gulf incident a couple months ago. And they went into a lot of details into the radio calls from the ship to a nearby aircraft carrier. An aircraft carrier scrambled a U.S. Naval fighter squadron to the ship that claimed it was under attack. The commander leading the U.S. fighter squadron in the Tonkin Gulf incident was a commander named Commander Stockdale, who went on to be an admiral and was Ross Perot's running mate. Admiral Stockdale, remember? Admiral Stockdale. And you got to ask yourself, what are the odds that an individual, a high-ranking officer involved in the Tonkin Gulf scam that got us into the war in Vietnam happened to be running third party as the VP running mate with Ross Perot? And both the Tonkin Gulf and that's when I realized, oh, Democrats. And Bill Clinton would not have won if it were not for Ross Perot. Not the first time. So, yeah. So when I saw that a few months ago, clearly, Ross Perot, maybe he didn't know it, or maybe he did, but he was an operative of the left to bring down the Republicans and split the vote. That was a big, and that Admiral Stockdale Tonkin Gulf connection set off fire alarms when I heard it. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe I've never heard that before, by the way. Maybe I'm not saying that part was covered up, but I don't ever remember hearing his connection to that ever throughout my life, Stockdale. So no. So Donald Trump is nothing like Ross Perot. Ross Perot was a tool of the deep state uniparty. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right, where are we?
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here with a question. How would you like a free doorbell
Okay,
camera?
I got to do a commercial, that's where.
Doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and you get a doorbell camera. I wish we had them for everyone, but the first 40 true oldies channel listeners to call 833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. You can see your home right from the palm of your hand.
Yes. I'm going to talk about our MAGA cruise when we get back.
Customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 true oldies channel listeners to dial 833-283-5050.
I did something yesterday I've not done in months. I shaved with a blade.
So call Sloman's now for this limited
I haven't shaved with a blade, I don't think, since the cruise. And I didn't even cut myself once. I thought I've been getting too lazy. Because the reason I don't shave is because I just am too lazy to do it in the morning. You cold water shave? Forget about that. I shave right before the shower.
Sexual life and relationship suffering because of disappointments in the bedroom, then take action and let our medical team at Lighthouse Medical Center help you stop the symptoms that are holding you back.
No razor burns. Not if you get right in the shower.
With precision technology to help solve your problematic symptoms.
Are any man in there, any of you guys use aftershave?
For over 71 years.
My wife got me, we were watching a movie with,
Running at less than 100%.
Oh, Ernest Borgnine. Okay. And it was a movie where he played a guy, he was a navigator on an airplane that crashed. And his character, it was like based on a true story. And his ghost would appear on flights. It was called The Ghost of Flight something. And he had this old style aftershave that he used, Ernest Borgnine's character. And every time his ghost appeared, they could smell the cologne. My wife got me that aftershave. I don't have it on today, but that aftershave is amazing. Mm.
You're not invited, but the rest of you are. We leave.
Gambler Cologne? Yeah, I remember Gambler Cologne. Absolutely.
Flagship of celebrity cruises. We're going to the ABC Islands.
That's right.
Bonaire and Aruba. We have shore excursions at every port.
Yes.
I'll be on the mall with you. We'll have dinner together every night, private cocktail parties. We'll go to Broadway shows together and dance till the clubs close.
Yeah, I cannot remember the name. The man, thank you. I can't remember the name of the aftershave, but it smells good. No, it's not Old Spice. I'll look for it when I go home. I have Jacquard. It's not Jacquard. No, I wear Jacquard. I had Jacquard on when I went to this thing the other day. Steve. All right, welcome. If you're on hold, stand by. Yeah, I just heard the recorded commercial for our cruise. That's no joke. Liberal Al is not invited on our cruise. You think we're going to spend a week doing shore excursions with that guy and having dinner with him every... Listen, if you've not already made your reservations on our 5th annual MAGA cruise, call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot and do it. These cruises, which we started out so that I could get a vacation, and it's turned into just a great tradition, and my daughter comes, and my daughter usually brings a friend, and we have our largest group ever on this cruise, and every cruise, our group gets bigger, and our family grows closer, and it's so much fun. We're going on the Celebrity Beyond, which is the flagship of Celebrity Cruise Lines. It's their newest ship, and we're going to the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. We have shore excursions at every port. At one port, we have 2 shore excursions, and I'll be with you on every shore excursion. We have dinner together every night. We go to the Broadway shows together every night. And if you notice, if you watch my YouTube videos and stuff on it, we get the front row and everything else. And we basically run the ship. And everybody on the ship knows this because we all got our MAGA gear on. But you want to call and just reserve your cabin now for a couple of reasons. One, there's some great specials going on over the summer. And also, this being the flagship of Celebrity, it's starting to fill up in certain cabin sizes. I had to call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot last week to make a change in my cabin, and I got a second cabin as well. And it was getting a little difficult because some of the cabins are starting to fill up. So call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot, lock in the price, lock in your cabin, 561-244-5779. When you call Ian, he'll go over pricing and everything. You know, pricing depends on so many different factors when it comes to a cruise ship. It's not like an airplane, okay? But he'll go over all the pricing and everything with you when you call. 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Hey, I think you're spot on about the,
Ross Perot?
Yeah, Ross Perot, thank you. I think he would have been a good president because he was a pretty good businessman, but he would not have been a Trump degree. He wouldn't have done half as good as Trump.
No.
But he was used by the Clintons to beat the Bushes, but everyone now knows the Bushes and Clintons were from the same pod. You know, it was a uniparty, and we didn't know it. The Bushes had me fooled. I voted for them, both Bushes, and they were no different than the Clintons. They were New World Order globalists, money, you know, they were about themselves. They weren't about a country.
Well, you know, but I did too. I mean, I voted for Ross Perot, but you know, but I voted for Bob Dole the next time, and I voted for HW twice. We didn't know. Now we know. But you know what happened with Donald Trump has changed how we view our politicians and elected officials, right?
Amen. Because if they're against Trump, they're against we the people. But Donald Trump is of and by and for we the people, which a president's supposed to do.
Yeah.
He is clearly showing us all who are not for we the people.
Well, you see it with, one of the reasons DeSantis is failing for a lot of reasons, okay? Mainly because his opposition for Trump. However, if this were like a normal election season, he would be doing better because he's a typical politician like we used to get. Just a lot of platitudes and nothingness and promises that'll never be kept, And with Donald Trump, he made promises, he kept them, and now we expect results from our officials, which we never... I mean, like, look, the Roe v. Wade. Who would have ever dreamed that Roe v. Wade would actually be overturned? That was like a dream. And Donald Trump did it. I didn't think it was possible. And what he did at the southern border, think about it. He had the Mexican army doing border security on their side of the border. Who would have thought such things were possible before Trump?
And we were energy efficient on our own.
Yep.
And our gas was under $2 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
It helps everyone from the poor to the rich. Everybody misses that because when oil and gas and all that's cheaper, that helps everybody in America.
Mm-hmm.
We need that back now. And Trump said we are going to drill, and we are going to support ourselves in that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Jeff, I hope you have a good weekend.
Bless you all.
All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Sandra from Boca.
Hey, Sandra. What's up?
Two things, just kind of want to give my opinion there. We basically have had an absentee president for 4 years. Would you agree?
Well, absent from us, but it depends on, who's he working for. I mean, if you're China or the military-industrial complex, or, he's been there for you. I mean, look at this war that this withdrawal from Afghanistan, the botched withdrawal. Let me give you a textbook example of what I'm talking about, okay? And then I'll let you go on because it's open phones. But it's what happened in Afghanistan wasn't botched by Biden's viewpoint. He left all that equipment behind, right? All that equipment, a whole army and air force. They have like one of the largest air forces in the world now, the Taliban. We had to rebuy all that equipment for our military because we left it behind. We had to rebuy it. So who does that help? The military-industrial donors. So that's, so he's been absent from the people, but he's been right there, Joe Biden, for the military-industrial complex, China, and the rest of the donors.
Yeah, but in saying that, it's like, what happened to us? It's like what happened to us as the people of America. Everything he's done, if you look really, like, just flashing in front of your brain for 15, 30 seconds, everything has been haphazard. Everything. There's been everything from the withdrawal of Afghanistan to the rise of inflation, just completely haphazard, his leadership is.
Last night on my podcast, my wife, we do our grocery shopping on Instacart, and Instacart saves you money because you don't do any impulse buying, right? I always recommend Instacart, but my wife went over the prices of some of the things we bought. If she would have told me this, I would have asked her to take it off the list. I love Doritos. She bought a bag of Doritos. They were over $7. That's what I said. I mean, over $7. And I'll tell you, a lot of times with the Doritos, I don't wrap the bag up enough or forget the chip clip, and, like a third of the bag will go stale and I'll throw it away. If they're stale, I'm eating them now. It was over $7. That's insane.
There's one other thing I wanted to thank you about for mentioning that construction on Glades.
Oh.
I was almost an omelet when I pretty much was at the light, thought I had to go right into the right lane, and this guy was honking at me like, you're going to go against traffic, and all this traffic coming up. And I went, OMG. I was about to end up going against traffic.
What she's talking about, I mentioned this yesterday, on Glades Road in Boca, on the bridge over I-95, I don't know if did they build a new bridge or add to the old one. I'm not sure which. They were doing construction forever, but when you go over I-95, whether you're going east or west, they've diverted the lanes so that you're driving on the left side of the road. And the first time I did it, I was on my Manga scooter, my Vespa. I was so confused, and I thought I was going to die because, let's face it, Boca's filled with people that should not be behind the wheel. We got a bunch of Joe Bidens behind the wheel. That people are going to die on that bridge. And I don't know if that was approved by the state, the county, the city, but that's a deadly, deadly thing, because even if everybody were 25, it would be dangerous. But because of the age of the drivers in Boca, the engineer who designed that is like a serial killer.
Pretty much. And I used to, shop at Whole Foods, and that's the only reason why I went down there, because I like a couple things they had.
Yeah.
Because of the incident, I haven't been since.
Yeah, it's awful. I mean, it is, and I know we don't talk about traffic too much and the flow of traffic and everything, but I don't know what they're doing there. And I drive that a lot because I live in Boca. Okay. Absolutely. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a public service. I mean, I know it seems, Steve will kill me if I keep talking about traffic flows and stuff, but he lives in Cooper City. He doesn't go to that area too much. But how many? I've had several calls already since yesterday of people from Boca that know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, listen, callers on hold, stand by. We only have one opening on the board at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. And, of course, it is open phones on Friday, open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and come back with your calls. I'm Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show. We'll be back right after this break.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robes Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created. Here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. So it's going to be up to about 94 again today. Partly cloudy skies, chance of afternoon showers and storms. I heat advisory is up, so a little less than the status of the last couple of days, but impact weather with heat indices again well into the triple digits. I'm the VPDF 25 First Morning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Expressways are still crash free this morning and moving up to speed boost Victoria and Jupiter. Area multi-vehicle crashes now clear. Military Trail at Marquette Drive. Also an incident cleared up on Military Trail at Marquette Boulevard.
I'm texting with Al Knight. He's our weekend guy.
Also light traffic on Okeechobee eastbound.
I'll be right back, guys. It's hot. I'm going to turn the air conditioning down.
We are trusted in red, white, and blue Air America. Save now, pay later. Air America is offering 12 months with no payments and no interest on UAC units. Visit airamericaAC.com for details. Let's traffic with Chris Barnes.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is the county's only OTB location featuring betting action from top horse tracks including Saratoga, Del Mar, and more.
The air conditioning was off.
180 new HD TVs, big screens, exceptional eats, wine, and full bar. The Paddock is also your best bet for special events, including music and dinner shows. For a full schedule of upcoming shows, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
ABC News Now, I'm Tom Rivers.
Welcome. If you're new to my channel, subscribe, guys. And everyone, please like the video.
Bringing the death toll to at least 55. That's expected to rise. More than 1,000 structures, including homes, were destroyed. Governor Josh Green says they're still trying to arrange shelter for hundreds of residents burned out of Maui.
It's our intent to initially seek 2,000 rooms so that we can get housing for people. That will mean reaching out to all of our hotels and those in the community.
The U.S. is finalizing.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that, Sabrina.
As Iran giving up 5 Iranian Americans it's holding
$6 billion for 5 Americans. How about you give back the 5 Americans and we won't blow up your country? How about that? Are you kidding me? Isn't that a better deal?
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting and waiting for things
Is it 5 Americans, they said? I have that story, I just haven't gotten to it.
you could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays
Mm.
that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people friendly, deadly.
Need help with your finances? You need Keith Singer. Review your income plans, tax practices, estate plans, and more with Keith Singer. Listen to Singer Wealth Sunday mornings at 7.
5, yeah. 5 for 6 billion.
Pure Wellness Medical, 9033 Glades Road, Suite 200B in Boca, and Attic Medical Aesthetics. Enjoy 50% off select procedures, as well as free cruises, hormone replacement, weight management, dermal fillings, hydrofacials, pure PRP facials, and facelifts, and so much more. And yes, we're giving away free cruises for 2. See you Tuesday from noon to 2 p.m. at Pure Wellness Medical in Boca, 9033 Glades Road, Suite 200B, and Attic Medical Aesthetics.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. One opening on the board at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. His open phones. You know, you've heard the story that we have given $6 billion to Iran in exchange for 5 American hostages. And, yeah, I know, huh? The $6 billion, you know, we have a lot of money that when they took over from the Shah that we froze in their bank accounts, and we give them that money with interest back. They gave $6 billion for 5 American hostages. This is the offer you make. How about this? This is a better exchange. Give us the 5 American hostages and we won't blow up your country. How about that? And I'll tell you this about these Americans that find themselves hostages in Iran or North Korea. 99% of them are CIA operatives. Okay, come on. I mean, what American would be in Iran? What American would be in North Korea? 2 kinds of Americans go to Iran and North Korea. You know what they are? The first are CIA, right? CIA people. And the other kind are what? Liberals, stupid Democrats. That's exactly right. And that's the reality of it. And that $6 billion, I wouldn't give them 6 cents. You don't pay off terrorists. And Iran has been for decades the largest funder of terrorism in the world. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, are you talking to me?
Yes.
Hi, Brian. I listen to you every morning. And I'm Marianne calling from New York.
Hey, Marianne.
So, this Biden and Hunter thing, back prior to him becoming president, the media was not kind to him, especially the print media. And there is an article from 2014 in time.com, and it gives the whole story of what happened in Burisma. And I don't understand why, Congress is having a hard time finding out about this, but John Kerry was the Secretary of State at the time, the article says. And a man named David Leader, this is crazy, who was a prior staff member to the Secretary of State, John Kerry, signed on to work as a lobbyist for Burisma. He was sent off to Washington, and he dealt with, Devin Archer at the time was a new board member as well, and he was also, Archer, a Democratic butler and former advisor to John Kerry.
Devin Archer was an advisor to John Kerry?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
In his 2004 presidential campaign. So Archer and Hunter, and I'm reading right here, Hunter Biden worked as business partners with Kerry's son-in-law, Christopher Hines.
Yeah, what happened is it was John Kerry's stepson and Hunter Biden started one of these ventures together, and John Kerry's stepson got out of it. I don't know. I guess it was too crooked even for the Kerrys. Why don't you send me that article? I'd love to read it.
It gets worse because this man became a lobbyist. He goes back to Washington, D.C., okay? And who does he lobby? I think this is the key to this whole thing. He goes back to Washington as a lobbyist to lobby Congress. And these senators wrote a letter to Obama, okay, they wanted money for Burisma.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, let's see, it says, and then it tells the senators. And this Senator Markey wrote a letter to Obama, and then the letter's right out there, with 3 other Democratic senators calling for increased aid.
Yeah, well, increased aid. Look at Obama's slow down for a second. Look at Obama's mansion on the ocean. He's not paying for that with his presidential pension, all right? But let me ask you this. Could you either send me that article, like DM it or email it, or post it on Twitter and tag me? I'd love to read it. But we can't read through the whole article on the air, but I'll read through it and talk about it if you send it to me. And and a lot of those things I remember as you bring them up, but it's been a long time. But a lot of people say, why isn't Joe Biden in prison? Joe Biden's not going to prison for a couple of reasons. One, he's a Democrat. Okay, Democrats don't go to prison. Only Republicans go to prison. And 2, they're all doing what he's doing. Why do you think they're coming back for more money for Ukraine? You know, they're all doing it. Joe Biden is doing what they all do.
We're giving them, that we gave Burisma, was coming back to Washington.
Correct.
Was coming back, and according to this article, donations were given to people's campaign.
Yeah, that's right, and they're doing that with Ukraine funding today. That's why the cryptocurrency guy Bankman, Zelensky bought $100 million in Bankman's cryptocurrency, and then Bankman donated $35 million to the Democrats' midterm election campaigns. So they got a whole. Ukraine is ground zero since the Obama era for all of the Democrat, uniparty, Republican insider establishment stealing from the Treasury. They do it through Ukraine funding. Listen, I'm going to run, but I appreciate that. Please get that article to me. All right, take care. All right, one opening on the board. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Oh, hello, this is Joan with Valley Go.
Hey, what's up?
Well, I listen to Robert Gouveia every evening. He's a criminal attorney. He goes through all the filings that they keep putting on Trump. And within the filing that Jack Smith did, okay, Jack Smith claims that Trump knew that he lost the.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you can prove a thought.
I know, but the whole thing is now the Michigan thing came out, right?
Yep.
Which proves that there were shenanigans with the election.
Well, there's a difference. Well, I know what you're talking about, and I know what you're. See, what they're doing is, this thing with Jack Smith, all right? And by the way, thanks for the call. This thing with Jack Smith, and this is a big deal. What they're doing with President Trump is they're charging him with thought crimes. Don't you understand that? To take it out of be a little more broad about it. He's being charged with a thought crime. He is thinking wrong things. And because according to them, okay, they think that he's thinking wrong. Because he's having the wrong thoughts, that's what he's charged with. And that's historic in nature. I don't know of any other thought crimes prosecuted in this country quite like that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, is it my turn yet?
I think it is. You're on.
Okay, this data from California. We were just talking about prices and groceries and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in California. I just paid $123 for 2 bags of groceries and a 3.5-pound bag of cat food.
Oh my goodness! I hope you're not going to eat the cat food to save money.
Well, the cat food is just as pricey as the
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the state that we're in. You know, I've been trying to warn people for years this is coming.
Yeah.
And they're hurting.
And you know what the Democrats will tell you with the increased food prices? You know what they'll tell you? You know what they'll say?
Oh, yeah, they'll come up with a number of excuses.
Well, this is what they'll say. You know what? We have an obesity epidemic in America, and people are too fat, and they shouldn't be eating those $7 bags of Doritos that I love so much. And that these high prices will just stop them from consuming too much food, which they're eating too much of anyway.
Yeah, my primary diet
Thanks,
is
Tim K.
vegetables, fruit, and salmon.
That doesn't sound like fun to me.
I don't even buy Doritos.
Oh, I love Doritos and Lay's potato chips too. I love those. But but I'm telling you, I told my wife no more Doritos. Over $7 for a bag of Doritos, and all of the packages have less food in them than they used to, right? They have bigger packages with less food, and they're charging through the nose.
Yeah, much smaller.
Yeah.
I came across a Biden supporter the other day, and she was complaining about spending $350 a week for her and her husband on food.
Mm.
And then I said, well, that's Biden economics for you.
Where in California are you?
I'm in Northern California.
Oh, well, that's a little different. You're in a safer area.
I am in a safer area. It's definitely more red here, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful area too. But yeah, these people are idiots. I cannot believe they're still supporting Biden after all this.
Well, you know what I've learned, since my daughter lives out there now and she's got Californian friends. This is what I've picked up from the Californians I've encountered through my daughter's contact. They don't know any different. These are people that have been raised and brainwashed into all this liberal nonsense, and they don't know a different way.
Yeah, it's like being brought up with abused parents.
It's like being raised by the Klansman parents or something. You know, they grow up and they don't know another way. They just think, That's what it's like. They just don't know a better way. Now, my daughter's out there. She's MAGA, and she tells people things, within safety limits. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, I know.
I grew up here, and it was a wonderful state. We had the best schools in California at that time. I'm going to be 58 at the end of the year.
Hey, listen, we got two great Republican presidents out of California, President Reagan and President Nixon.
Yeah, and I firmly believe now, after all the research I've done, California has not had a real election in decades.
The problem you have in California is that you have too many people coming across the southern border who find their ways in elected office and voting. That's the problem. And Southern California is the problem. That's why they always talk about separating California into two states. And the Republican primary in California is very, very important. So make sure you get all your MAGA friends to go vote Trump on the Republican primary. Listen, I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. We install all kinds of roofs, from asphalt, shingle, clay, and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. We work with homeowners, HOAs, commercial properties, and churches. We are state of Florida licensed roofing and general contractors. At Laporta Contracting, family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by constantly informing them every step of the way. At Laporta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or visit us on our website at laportacontracting.com. That number again is 954-604-4602.
Brian Craig here. I've suffered with massive pain in my knee.
I was just going to do both commercials I was going to do. The recorded's
Dr.
play.
Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
By treating your knee pain with laser, treatment is simple and no side effect. I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. These are all FDA approved.
Now, you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help them with.
Any joint I can do, shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis.
Kathy Hyatt. Thank you, Kathy.
From the foot all the way up through the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and with the laser away pain system, there's no injections, no surgery, and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about our family dentist of the Kane household, Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. From cleanings to implants, he does it all. We love Dr. Gupta at our household because he takes the pain and the anxiety out of dental work, all at an affordable price. Call Dr. Gupta at 954-922-4633. Tell him Steve sent you.
Oh, you're my movers? 2 men in a truck.
Good morning. I'm man number 1.
I'm man number 2.
And I'm man number 3.
Wait, I thought you were 2 men in a truck.
We are, but your move will go best with 3 men.
Whatever it takes to move people forward, whether across the city or across the country.
Because we're the movers who care.
Well, come on in. 3 men in a truck.
But you can still find us at 2menpalmbeach.com and 2mentreasurecoast.com.
Here we are.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show.
That seemed like I got cut off, that spot.
Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday, meaning open phones. Any and everything you have on your mind's fair game on Friday's show at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. I want to take a moment to talk about the Thomas Edison of sleep. Of course, that's Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow and the MyPillow 2.0 with cooling technology. Oh, man. You know, it is hot. It is the summer. We've had record heat, not just here, but throughout the United States. And, you know, the way that the MyPillow 2.0 works is amazing with the cooling technology. It's the thread in the cover. It's a special cooling thread. It's new. It's a new type of material that Mike Lindell discovered, and that's what the cover of the pillow is. It has the same patented fill inside, and it will keep you cool all night long, and you get that same great comfortable sleep that you got on the MyPillow that started it all. And they are different. You know, at Turning Point USA a few weeks ago, a guy went up to Mike Lindell. I don't know if I talked to you guys about this. He had 2 pillows hidden in pillowcases. One was a regular pillow and one was a MyPillow. And he thought he was going to set Mike Lindell up, and he went up to Mike Lindell and told him to pick which was the MyPillow. And he did it. The guy was shocked. Of course, it's his invention. It's that different. You can tell by the feel. But anyway, the MyPillow 2.0 with cooling technology, your head, your face, your neck will be cool all night long. You'll never turn the pillow over again looking for the cool side. And I'm especially enjoying it over these hot summer nights. You can go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow 2.0. It's buy one, get one free when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Pompano.
Hey, Pompano, what's up?
Okay, I literally can't sleep at night worrying about the trial in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And they're never going to have a change of venue or get rid of that judge. And he'll be found guilty, and he'll be a convicted felon. Is it automatic? Are there a list of states that say,
No, there's not. You cannot. You can be a felon and be in prison and run for president. In fact, someone did that once before about 100 years ago, a socialist. But you can be a convicted felon and be president still. There's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't.
The only restrictions on him having rallies or whatever, if he can.
The only requirements is to be a natural-born U.S. citizen, be 35 years of age or older, and not taken part in an insurrection against the United States. So they're trying to use January 6th to get him with an insurrection rap. That's what they're doing.
Supreme Court to just stop the
I'm not a lawyer, but I don't see why not. I mean, this is insane. Yeah. Things have gotten out of control.
It's affecting my sleep right now.
Well, don't listen. You don't need to worry about it because President Trump is handling it, and and he's got a great legal team. Let them worry about it, okay? And and Trump doesn't seem too worried to me.
Hey, I hope you're right.
Mm-hmm. All right, take care. Thanks for calling. And I've been telling you guys for 2.5 years that their whole strategy was based around what we're seeing now. My prediction is coming true with this Super Tuesday scheme of Jack Smith. I told you their whole scheme is to get him with an insurrection charge so that they can use that as an excuse to keep him off the ballot. And that's why Jack Smith is going for this conviction. Even though this is not an insurrection case, they're going to call it that and try to use that to keep him off the ballot in some of these early states. And they're trying to get it done before Super Tuesday because, as I said, Super Tuesday, about a third of the delegates are won on Super Tuesday. So they're going to try to keep him off some of these ballots using that insurrection clause from the Civil War. And they're a step closer to making it a reality. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Remington.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I was just calling in about this is an egregious, offensive thing that they're doing with this money to Iran. And they're not even American citizens. They're Iranian American citizens, regardless of their spies, regardless of their CIA. Who's worth $1 billion, dead or alive? I don't understand it, but that's besides the fact of just the criminality that's just allowed to be openly ran in our faces. Between the DOJ and the rest of these people, how come nobody's been impeached? We heard about Mayorkas being impeached, but he never even got impeached. He's still running his mouth. We have no real political power when it comes to anything. If McCarthy is who he says he is, then wouldn't he have done something by now? And Mike Pence coming out and saying that he could have done something to stop it, a long time ago, then why wouldn't he have done it?
Yeah, but Kevin, I have never trusted Kevin McCarthy. I've called him the Judas of Mar-a-Lago.
Right. I mean, it's beyond that at this point. If they're going to allow this payment to go through, well, it's not even a payment. Supposedly, it's their money. Bull crap. But I mean, in my opinion, it's just not going to stop the things that they're doing with Ukraine.
The whole thing in Iran, the situation with Iran, it's all because of the deep state. The CIA had a coup and put the Shah in power, and then Jimmy Carter blew it with the Shah and put the Ayatollah in power, and the Democrats have brought us all this pain and suffering. How many people have died because of the deep state Democrat dealings with Iran since the 70s?
More than we could ever count. And that's what I mean by how many times can they play the same trick on the people without the people waking up completely? I just don't get it. It just doesn't make sense how they're openly just doing things. And like that woman said from California, I believe they're still in the election.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Iran, with this, if you're Iranian, right, and they're going to give you $6 billion, and I don't know if they're going to fly it over there in cash this time, or if it's just going to be an electronic money transfer. My guess would be cash. They want cash because they need cash in their banks. But if you're Iran and they give you $6 billion, that's a lot of money. That's more money than the human mind can comprehend. and they give you $6 billion for 5 American citizens, what does that tell you you should do?
Well, yeah.
You kidnap more American citizens and get more money. Because America deals with terrorists. America pays ransom. So we need some more money. So take some more hostages. Yeah.
Trump did none of that. Nobody was paying terrorists, and he was in.
That's right.
Look at Obama dropped off billions in pallets, and nobody even said anything in the middle of it.
Yeah, in cash, pallets of cash. I got to run, Wellington, for the break. Thanks for the call. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. You're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. So it's going to be up to about 94 again today. Partly cloudy skies, chance of afternoon showers and storms. A heat advisory is up, so a little less than the status of the last couple of days, but impact weather with heat indices, again, well into the triple digits. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
In Boca Raton, we have a multi-vehicle crash on the I-95 northbound Ramsey Yamato Road. The off-ramp right lane is blocked right now. We have a multi-vehicle crash in Delray Beach along Atlantic Avenue at 441. Some slowdowns on Jogway north and southbound between La Chalette and Hypoluxo. Also more traffic and build-up on Lake Worth Road east and westbound between 441 and the Turnpike. This report is sponsored by AirAmericaAC.com. For your trust in the red, white, and blue, Air America. For reliable electrical service and expertise, trust Air America. Visit AirAmericaAC.com for the latest deals, including $50 off any electrical repair and any service calls. That's Traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is the county's only OTB location featuring betting action from top horse tracks including Saratoga, Del Mar, and more. Visit our incredible paddock restaurant with over 180 new HD TVs, big screens, exceptional eats, wine, and full bar. The paddock is also your best bet for special events, comedy, music, and dinner shows. For a full schedule of upcoming shows, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Hi, this is Gabriel with Florida Cash Home Buyers, and we pay cash for houses. If you want to sell your home fast and easy without a realtor and save thousands in commissions and closing costs, call me at 561-570-7070. You can sell us your home in as little as 3 days or on your time frame. We can even pay you a cash advance before the closing, and we guarantee to make you a fair and honest offer. Our home buying process is simple, and we can make you a cash offer over the phone or in person, whatever works for you. Do you have a home that needs a lot of work? Did you inherit a house you don't want? No problem. We can buy your home no matter the condition or situation. You don't need to clean or fix anything, and there's no commissions or closing costs. If you want to sell your home fast and easy, we'll buy it. Call us today for a free offer. 561-570-7070. That's 561-570-7070. 561-570-7070.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our MyPillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day, the buy one, get one free, and they're our first MyPillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way, too.
Go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your MyPillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE.
Do you ever have a look in the mirror and wonder where the years have gone? You feel young and vibrant on the inside, but the reflection tells a different story.
I just wish I could turn back time.
The problem? Time waits for no one. Wrinkles deepen, skin sags, and sometimes those closest to us stop noticing.
He used to look at me like I was the only woman in the world.
But what if you could reignite that spark? What if you could turn back the clock 20 years in just an afternoon?
Tell me more.
Pure Wellness Medical presents the Liquid Facelift, a non-invasive solution to the age-old problem. Feel young? Now, look it too.
It's like a time machine for my face.
But here's the catch. Our sizzling summer specials are only available this coming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And with limited slots, they're filling up fast.
I don't want to miss out.
Save up to 50% on select products and services. But remember, time is of the essence. Don't let another moment slip away.
I'm ready to turn back the clock.
Then call or text 561-363-5007 now to book your appointment. 561-363-5007. Feel young, look young, and let the world see the real you. Pure Wellness Medical, where your inner youth meets your outer beauty. PureWellnessMedical.com.
Hello, this is Mike.
Welcome, everyone.
I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977.
It is hot in here today. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm wearing a jacket. Maybe that, oh yeah, that helps. Taking the jacket off helps.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years.
All right, welcome back, one and all. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1 Friday show. Always open phones. You're not limited to the topics that Steve and I bring up. And we've had some really good calls today, for the most part, I think. I think things have gone well. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I'd like to clear the air with you real quick before I get on to my subject. Can I do that this morning?
Well, it is open phones.
Listen, I got a major ego. I remember driving the bus when people would say to me, "Why are you going so slow?" And I got really defensive about it because who are they to tell me I'm the professional bus driver? I did the wrong thing with you, and I try to bring up another topic, and I admit that I was wrong, and I apologize.
Apology accepted.
But here's the but.
It's not an apology if there's a but, Richie. Oh my gosh. I did not call you an AH. I said
radio on YouTube.
I did not call you an A. I was not calling you an AH. I was talking about trolls harassing me. I used your name in the sentence, but I did not call you an AH. But if you give an apology, when you apologize and you add a but, okay, you're canceling out the apology. There's either okay.
I want to add the but.
All right.
I mean, I really do. Now I'm going to depress your audience out there. First of all, Brian's 150% right. It started with the escalator when Trump always tells you that. They badgered him for the whole time trying to degrade him, and they never accepted him. In between now, they figured they had what did they have, that 1 year with that January 6th crap?
Mm-hmm.
They tried to smother him with lies. Now they try to get the tapes, and they destroyed all the tapes of January 6th commission, so he has no defense there. I mean, this is like, and the people ought to realize one thing here. They did everything to get Trump out of there, and it's a movement, and they don't get it. And Trump is the head of the movement. It's not Donald Trump. It's you and me and the people voting for him. They are trying to intimidate us.
Yeah.
Through him. You take a look at the Twitter. They attacked Twitter. They want his Twitter account.
Well, no, what they did, what Jack Smith did, that's already been done. Jack Smith wants to look at his private DMs, his direct messages on Twitter, because he thinks that's where he'll find that he did terrible things.
Because it's an attack on us, man. It's this whole thing, and I believe that he's going to go to jail. And it's a railroad job because the courts are against us. You know the thing I try to bring up about what Michigan.
Mm. Mm-hmm. I know all about it. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, no, that's see these, and this is what I got. I try to explain this to people, and this doesn't make sense to many people. These jokers don't think they're doing. They think they're helping us. They think they're saving the country. They actually believe, for some reason that I don't quite understand, that Trump is a danger. Now he's a danger to the corrupt dealings like this. Ending the war in Ukraine has them freaked out because they're all making so much money off of it, things like that. But they actually believe that he's a dangerous person.
Well, all the international money that's going into Washington, D.C., all these congressmen and senators are invested in overseas companies. Trump wants to bring everything back to the United States. As a little boy in the United States, I remember everything was made here. And we were prosperous. I mean, you could go on a vacation and actually be able to set 2 weeks off and enjoy yourself and not worry about your next bill.
Mm-hmm.
They started shipping jobs all over the place. So we're in a really bad situation here. And I don't think the world is pulled over our eyes. People better wake up because this is bad news. And the other thing I want to bring up real quick, Instacart. Did you say you go on all the time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I went in there, I look at the Instacart and I go in the Publix. The price is actually more in the Instacart.
Yes, it is. It is. They add to each, okay, Instacart adds to each item, right, to pay for the service. But you still save money because, I mean, if you go to the grocery store, you do all the impulse buying, and I can't go to Publix without buying the pumpkin pie, okay? And if I'm going to get one, I'm going to get 2 of them, all that kind of stuff. So, no, it's just, no. They do charge a little bit more per item, but we save money big time. Big time.
As going back as a group of people at MAGA, we got big problems here because it's obvious that the Republicans are just as much against us.
Yeah.
DC didn't get that big for nothing, and I don't know what we can do about it because I don't think
that's the MAGA movement. Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna. By the way, thanks for the call, Richie. Now I want to and the apology. Okay, I want to play this clip. I referenced this earlier. Calls on hold, standby. This is what I mean. This is Jonah Goldberg, who's a real beaut, and he was on CNN talking to Dana Bash, who's CIA, on CNN yesterday about donors. Listen to this. Oh, hold on. I got to plug in. I don't have it set up. Hold on. I love it when the first time I play a soundbite, almost every morning, I don't have it set up properly. Hold on. Let me rewind it. Live. We just got to prove to you that we are live. Here we go.
I just also think that we were dealing with a time where for a lot of people, there was a lot of cheering and self-congratulation about the rise of small donors a decade ago. And now small donors are actually one of the biggest problems for democracy, for the GOP, because...
See, now did you already said? Small donors, this is Jonah Goldberg talking to Dana Bash on CNN yesterday. Small donors, that's individual donors like you or me if we were to donate. We are the biggest danger to democracy, he just said.
And self-congratulation about the rise of small donors a decade ago. And now small donors are actually one of the biggest problems for democracy, for the GOP, because large donors actually have a strategic view about moderation, who can win, who can't. Small donors really are just venting their spleen with their credit card, and they lock candidates into positions that can hurt them in the general election.
Such an important point.
Yeah, Dana Bash from the CIA at CNN says, what a great point. All the American people having a voice. Individual donors like you are the biggest threat to democracy, according to Jonah Goldberg and Dana Bash over on CNN, because you have a voice. The big corporate donors, the ones that are responsible for the names of the dead on the Vietnam Memorial, those are the ones that are reasoned, according to them. What a bunch of monsters. But that's what we're dealing with, right? That's what we're dealing with. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is David from Tamarack. Good morning.
Hey, Tamarack. What's up?
All right. Well, I just wanted to kind of talk about that $6 billion going to freed up for Iran. And by the way, I listen every morning on my way to work because I have to drive to work because I'm a Republican. I actually have to go to work. I'm like, So anyway, what's the money going to go for? The $6 billion.
The 6 billion that's going to Iran will first be split among the generals and the ayatollahs and the corrupt leadership, and whatever's left will go to fund terrorism, to kill Americans and Jews. That's the rest. Yes.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. It's insane.
I don't know.
It's insane.
And who are these? Because this is an honest question. Who are these people?
Well, it's like I said. I was talking earlier. Okay, there's two types of people that are prisoners in Iran and North Korea, right? Because sometimes, what are the two types of people that are held prisoner in Iran or North Korea? That's right. Most every single one of them is a spy. Every so often, you'll get a liberal lunatic like this Warmbier that was in North Korea, who's just some liberal who wants to go see the workers' paradise or the Islamic State. But of course, they're spies. Why else would an American be in Iran or North Korea? They're spies. And and so far as every American life is precious. However, you don't give them $6 billion. You just simply say, listen. You give us our Americans back, or we're going to have a complete embargo on all of your oil, and if you don't give them back then, we're going to blow your country up. That's it. That's it. I mean, come on.
I agree with your analysis.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
All right, Tamarack. I love callers from Tamarack. You know why? Mayor Pete, that the Democrats want to make president, he was mayor of South Bend, Indiana. South Bend, Indiana is about the size of Tamarack. And I know a lot of you may not know Tamarack if you're in different areas, but Tamarack's a tiny little place. Tiny little place. You miss it if you blink when you're driving through it. Most people don't even know they've been to Tamarack until they're gone. They're through it, and they want to make the guy president of the United States. All right, our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. I want to tell you about the Sloman's free home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation offer. It is back. That's right. You can get a free doorbell camera if you're one of the first 40 listeners who call 1-833-283-5050. That's right. You'll get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone so you can see your home no matter where you are. Sloman's, they're also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're going to get a backup battery, 3 armed doors, a motion detector, and an LED touchscreen pad. And if you're one of the first 40 callers at 1-833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. It's a great camera. I have this. Call, get yours. It's a great deal, and it's being offered for a limited time, okay? 1-833-283-5050. We'll be right back.
Hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right.
All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm going to have to call your office. I got to set up an appointment with my mother. I imagine a lot of people do this. I got to set up an appointment with my mother to come in and see you.
And I'm sorry, I actually did.
Oh, I said, I'm sure a lot of people do this. I'm going to have to call your office. I need to set up an appointment so that I can come in to see you with my mother.
Yeah, we get that a lot. In fact, we had a situation yesterday where we were helping a client with their estate planning, and they were talking about their mother who was in assisted living. And of course, I asked, well, how are they paying for that? And they said they're private paying it.
Oh boy!
And we started talking about the potential of having Medicaid pay for it, and they're like, oh yeah, but there's that whole 5-year look back. We can't get it. And we went over everything, and it turns out she can get it, and we will be able to get her mom qualified and offset some of the costs of the.
That's awesome.
So we have a lot of people who come in, do estate planning with us, and then they either have their kids come in, or their siblings, or their parents. So we do get a lot of that. So we'd be happy to see.
Yeah, I remember when my mom wouldn't give me the keys to the car, but now I'm bringing her in to get greatly, bringing her into the law firm. But no, it's because it's the kids that you got to deal with it. And you want to make sure that everything's set up so that, things go well when when your family's facing that terrible time, and yeah, we'll be coming in. And, my mother is, I'm the only child and all our family is gone, but you still have to take care of things, and you never know what's going to happen. And when you hear Attorney Barry Siegel talk about the Medicaid planning, that is so important. I have known too many people, and I think everyone in Florida probably has, that have had someone that they know or a parent or a grandparent go into nursing home or need at-home care, and it exhausts everything that the family worked so hard for their entire life, and the surviving spouse is left broke, or they move in with the adult kids and that causes problems. That doesn't have to be the case. Call the Siegel Law Group. It's always a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group. If you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio, you can find him online at siegellawgroup.com or call toll-free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel. We'll talk next week.
Okay, thanks so much, Brian. Have a great one.
Back after this.
The social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It is open phones, of course, on Friday at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I want to recap the big story of the day. I'm holding back a sneeze, guys, so if there's any dead air, that'll be me sneezing. I know. I didn't have enough time during the break to sneeze, so... Oh, it just went away. All right, maybe I'll get to the top of the hour without having to sneeze. I want to recap the big story of the day because this is a big one, okay? What Jack Smith is doing, and I love Trump is so good at branding. Trump is a brand. He created this brand, the Trump brand, and the Trump brand means excellence, sophistication. I mean, it means something. When I was young, Donald Trump was a big celebrity, and the first time that I really saw the Trump brand, because I'm a Floridian for the most part. I've lived here my entire life, really. I was at the Sharper Image store at the Galleria Mall in Fort Lauderdale. You guys remember Sharper Image? They had really cool electronics at Sharper Image that you couldn't get anywhere else. And they had really cool things like you could actually buy this turntable. They had a turntable where you could play your records on it, and they would transfer to a compact disc. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. But I was at Sharper Image one day, and because I never bought anything for a Sharper Image because everything was very expensive. But me and my friends used to go there and play with all the electronics that they had. They had cool electronics. And they were selling at Sharper Image Trump steaks. And they had this huge box. It was a massive box. And it came with Trump steaks, and it was not cheap. It was either $200 or $400. Now, I wish I would have bought them back then and kept the box. Could you imagine how much that empty box that the Trump steaks in the 90s and in the 80s, how much that'd be worth today on eBay or something? Oh my goodness, probably a fortune. But I remember I saw that then. And I thought, that's pretty amazing. I've seen Donald Trump on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Now he's got steaks, And of course, he's got much more than that now. But that's, it's amazing. And that's why they started the Apprentice TV show. These people, this country is facing a lot of problems. But probably the biggest problem we're facing as Americans right now is the economy, inflation. And my whole life, they told us, you can't have a businessman as president. You can't run the government like a business. And then Donald Trump became president, ran it like a business, and everything was perfect. The biggest problem we're facing right now is the economy. And The Apprentice, which is a show that I loved. I watched that show. I loved it. The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice. It was an awesome show. And I loved it. But anyway, the show The Apprentice was crafted around Donald Trump because he is a master of industry, right? Right, exactly, a master of industry. And Donald Trump, this is before he came down the escalator, obviously. Donald Trump was recognized as one of the most successful businessmen in America, that everything he touched turned to gold, and that when it came to the world of business, he was the guy. And the whole concept of The Apprentice, things changed with The Celebrity Apprentice, but the whole concept of The Apprentice was that if you won, you got to be the apprentice of the most brilliant, successful business mind in America, Donald Trump. And I remember one season in particular, they did the Celebrity Apprentice, and then they tried to bring back the regular Apprentice. And they had the final two people in the regular Apprentice. This is when they were trying to bring it back. And this guy, he had really prepared. He lost to the girl, but I don't remember his name. But he made this whole case about how Trump should pick him as the apprentice, that he wanted to help him with his resort in Scotland that he was having trouble with. And the people that won The Apprentice, before the celebrities were involved, actually went to work for Donald Trump because he's such an expert on the economy. He is an economist. Now who's running the economy into the ground with massive inflation, where I'm paying over $7 for a bag of Doritos yesterday? Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe that. This may be my last bag of Doritos until Trump's back and prices come down. But, you know, we've got the economy not run by an economist like Donald Trump. He's a real economist. He's got the business degree from a good school, and he has major success in so many different aspects of the economy. He is an expert economist. Who's running who are the economists? Who are the people running our economy now? College professors who have never had a job or made a payroll. They've never had a job outside of government, which includes the university. They didn't even work their way through school, right? Soon as they graduated undergrad and started on their graduate degree, they were teaching classes, and then they become professors. Next thing you know, they're running the Fed, or they're the Secretary of the Treasury. You know, so there's two types of people that are running our economy now into the ground with massive inflation. One, college professors that have never had a job. The other two are well, thieves, conmen, grifters like Joe Biden, okay, that are just doing whatever they got to do to enrich themselves, and they're making deals not based on what's right, but on how much money they personally could steal from the deal. You know, like this proxy war in Ukraine. And, you know, when we get to the point, we saw this happen last time. When President Trump becomes president-elect again, will that be nice? When he's president-elect again, will he be the president-elect at that point? But when he's president-elect again, the economy is going to turn around on a dime before he's even in office. You know, this happened the first time when he was president-elect and Obama was still the president. The economy started to turn around immediately the next day, because so much of the economy is based on future expectations. Just Donald Trump winning and having months before he takes the oath of office will turn the economy around. So back to what Jack Smith is doing, and this is very important, and I don't want to lose sight of this today, and then we'll break for the top, and we'll get back to our very busy phones and everything today. Jack Smith is moving to have this case go to trial in January. They think it's going to take about 2 months. They're trying to get it done before Super Tuesday, okay? They want him to, they think they're going to get a conviction. And you know what? They probably will if it gets to trial in D.C., right? You got a very outrageous judge who's mistreating President Trump, which I'm going to get to in the next hour maybe if we have time. And you got the liberal jury from the bureaucracy in the D.C. jury pool. This is crazy, right? So Super Tuesday comes up, and what they're going to try to do is try to keep him off the ballot in the Super Tuesday states, as many of them as they can. About 12 states vote in their primaries on Super Tuesday. It's about 1/3 of the convention delegates are decided on Super Tuesday. It's a big one, and it's across the country. It's a big one, and it's important. And if they can keep him off of the ballot in one state, like I think, I'm going to look them up during the break, because it's the Super Tuesday states change from election to election. They don't really stay the same. But I believe, like, for example, California. Is California a Super Tuesday state? They find a state that, because we have primaries in Democrat states too, and a Republican's going to win the Republican primary in a Democrat state. If they could get Newsom to keep Trump off the ballot in California, because they get this conviction in D.C., and they say, even though the charges and the conviction would be this, that it was an insurrection, he can't be on the ballot, he doesn't get those delegates. He will not have those delegates assigned to him when he goes to the convention. Don't you understand? But even so, that this whole thing that Jack Smith is doing before Super Tuesday is criminal in itself. He's the one who should be facing trial for doing that. But it's to try to keep him off the ballot in as many Super Tuesday states as possible. And the likelihood of them having success in one is likely. And when they go to the convention, if he has enough, if they're not successful enough, and he still has enough for the nomination, they're going to go for brokered convention. But either way, we're looking at a brokered convention because President Trump's not going to take that sitting down. He'll go brokered at the convention if he has to. And this is all. This is the design. I've been telling you guys since January 6th. This is what they were going to do. And when the aftermath of that, I said they're going to blame him for an insurrection, and they're going to try to keep him off the ballot. And now we have Jack Smith bringing that plan to reality. And that's what this is about. And this judge in D.C. is working with Jack Smith. It's the same team. She's basically on the prosecution team. A judge can be disbarred, you know. So at what point will the Supreme Court get involved is a question that I cannot answer because I'm not a legal expert. I have to leave that up to Mark Levin and others, okay? I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But what's going on here with this latest move by Jack Smith is it's what I call a pre-coup in a way. And believe me, they're very well aware of what it is that they're doing. And see, the states have to have the ballots printed long before the primary. So once they, like say in California, they keep Trump off the ballot and then the Supreme Court says he can be on the ballots have already been printed. Then what happens? We don't have time to print new ballots. You understand what I'm saying? All right, 1 hour to go. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by the Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rogues Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Rogues, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious spaces are created.
Yeah, I've got the Super Tuesday states this time. Well, let me count them. Let's see, it's on the 5th of March, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. 15 states on Super Tuesday, and California is one of them. There's a lot of liberal states. California, Colorado, Massachusetts, you know. There's a lot of states there. They only have to get one. Let me count again to make sure. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, shoot. I hit a button I didn't want to hit. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that does not include America, Samoa. They get to vote in the primary. They have a caucus. I don't know how that works out, but I'm not counting them. So it's 15, not including America, Samoa on Super Tuesday. It's insane. Virginia is another one. That's controlled by the never-Trumpers and the establishment.
For the question, how would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and
South Carolina is not a Super Tuesday state. I'm just going over Super Tuesday because they think they'll have a conviction. The trial will be over in D.C. before Super Tuesday, they think. You may not be able to write in during the primaries. Primaries are different. What's for lunch? That's a good question. I'm pretty hungry. I think I'm going to go across the street to Dunkin' Donuts when I get off the air. I think. I'm going to go through some of them when we get back in the next hour. 15.
Gold, silver, copper, precious metals, battery metals, green metals, stocks, and the potential for a 5 or 10 times does exist. Listen and learn the Ellis Martin Report weekdays at 9:30 a.m. here on South Florida's True Oldie.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. I'm Brian Craig, and, of course, on Fridays, it is Open Phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's program. You are not limited to the topics that we bring up on the program. All right, so let's go take some calls, and then I got some more on Super Tuesday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
PJ from Broward.
Hey, PJ. What's up?
Hey, I think you really hit the nail on the head yesterday when you gave the real reason why at Fort Hood, now known as Cavazos, as to the real reason for the food shortage there. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
It was probably at the Southern Borden.
Well, let me recap that for people that weren't listening. There was a story in the Military Times that there's a chef shortage at Fort Hood, which is in Texas. And soldiers don't have access to meals, that they have to drive 30 minutes away to be fed, that there's a chef shortage. And the Military Times said that the chef shortage is because chefs are deployed to other things. And I was speculating, and I think I'm right, and PJ agrees, that they've deployed the Army chefs from Fort Hood to the southern border to feed the illegals, because to feed people at such a large size takes a special skill set that only Army chefs, Army cooks have.
Exactly. And by the way, I checked. So far, nobody else has figured that out.
I'm ahead of the game.
I checked the West. Yeah, and you know what? That's my today's video that I'm doing. That's what it's going to be about.
Oh, great.
You know, because if that story breaks, if they found, I have a feeling they're going to find out that's the reason. I want them to know who broke that story first. I don't want it to be like, remember the 2004 election?
Yes.
The best political campaign that ever created, and nobody knows, or very few people know who
it?
Me. Yeah, but PJ knows. He wrote an article about this. I created the Swiftboat Veterans for Truth ad, and a lot of people take credit for that. And that ad won the election for George Bush. So I guess that makes me a party to a war crime, since it was helped reelect George Bush. But you know, PJ, I had the same thing with the baby formula shortage that we had a while back. But yeah, I would promise you, the Army chefs from Fort Hood, the Army cooks from Fort Hood, are at the southern border cooking for the illegals. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I think you're right. When it breaks, I hope you get the credit for it. That's what I'm going to.
Well, I'll get the credit from you. I know that.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? I finally got my wife to relent. We will be going on the cruise.
Great.
People.
Awesome. Yeah, PJ was on our last cruise, and if you go to my YouTube video on the cruise, you can see PJ on the dance floor. And PJ's a good dancer, kind of like Elaine from Seinfeld, with a mix of John Travolta from Saturday Night Fever.
You want to know the truth? I swear to you, this is true. I used to be a really good. Everybody said, "Oh my God, this guy's a really good dancer." But I don't know. Something happened in the years in between.
Well, I don't dance on the cruises for two reasons. One, I don't want somebody to have video of me dancing like I have of you, and the other thing is I only dance with my wife. I don't dance with other women, you know. And but yeah, so you'll be on the cruise, and that's great. And we have shore excursions at every port, so we won't have to rely on you for directions.
Oh yeah, that's.
PJ got us lost in San Juan. And some people were upset, and I said, no, this is awesome. We're lost in San Juan. We're walking through the streets of old San Juan. We're going to remember this forever. This will be like a very memorable day, and it is. And I don't mind. I don't care that we got lost. It made the day more interesting, and we found that great bar with those pina coladas that is worked out. All right, PJ, take care. I'll look for your story later.
Okay.
All right, take care, PJ. Now, Super Tuesday. It's worse than I thought. There were 15 state primaries on Super Tuesday, not including American Samoa, which has a caucus. It's a territory. So, yeah. And some of them are very liberal states. California, Colorado, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Virginia, which is controlled by the bureaucracy of D.C. So, if they use Jack Smith's case to get Trump off the ballot in California, how many delegates do you get from California? That's huge. You see, this has been their whole strategy all along, and this is what Ron DeSantis' strategy has been, if he can stick it out long enough, right? His strategy is this. Crazy world. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning. Can you?
I can, but I don't know. Do you need your seatbelt on or shut the door? I don't know. There's with that loud noise.
I was just stepping into my truck. How you doing today? This is Eddie again from Virginia. I called you yesterday. How you doing?
All right, Eddie. What's up?
I have a question. And since today is open mic, I was wondering if you could explain. I'm a first generation immigrant, and what I'm trying to understand is how in a country that is really based on constitutional or Republican maybe principles or values, how is it possible that people like Jack Smith, the judge that you've talked about in the DC case, and all these other people, how is it possible that they can continue to do the same wrong things? To get away with it? What exactly is the reason why that is happening? Because it's a little confusing to me where everything is based on laws in America. This is one of the greatest things about this country. You know what is right and what is wrong, where to go, how to do things. Don't do this. You'll get into trouble if you do that.
I think it's 8 days.
And then everybody stays in their lane and does the right thing, right? Make the country great.
Well, I'll tell you how that is. It's simple. It's simple. The government is too big and has too much control, okay? Our freedom is an illusion. We're not really a free country. We just have the illusion of a free country. And yeah, I mean, those are some of the big reasons right there. And so far as the Constitution, see, unfortunately, they teach kids in college. They teach them in grade school now too, in high school, but they teach kids in college that the Constitution doesn't apply anymore. It's out of date. That the Constitution was written by white supremacist slave masters for the benefit of maintaining white supremacy, and it's an out-of-date document, and it doesn't mean anything anymore. And I mean, there's other reasons, but those are the big brush ones. And Democrats are corrupt crooks. That's you know.
Let me just ask a follow-up on that question. And if these people speak against the Constitution, which is what America is based on, how are they still saying? Well, number two is what can be done about it legally? Because a lot.
No, nothing. The only thing you can do is get Trump in office, because you know presidents aren't presidents for very long. They're 4 to 8 years. But the most important thing that a president does, and I know this, it doesn't seem like it at the time, but the most important thing that a president does is the appointment of federal judges and Supreme Court justices, because the federal judges and the Supreme Court are the ones that keep everybody in line the best. Okay? And when you have someone like Donald Trump who appoints honest judges that follow the Constitution, America's safe. When you have judges appointed by Democrats, like this Obama judge in D.C., you have corrupt public officials who don't care what the laws say. They're tyrants. So Trump coming back in and appointing hundreds of more judges like he did in his first term, and maybe getting a young replacement for Clarence Thomas, that's how you save the country. The most important thing a president does is appoint Supreme Court justices and federal judges. That's their legacy.
Okay, let me ask you my last question as a follow-up to this. This is my last question. So how do we know we can get Trump back in?
Yeah. Well, everything's a gamble, but I think Trump talks a lot about some strategies he has, and if you follow him, he's running a campaign in a much different way and in a different organization than he has before, and that's what we got. That's the system. Listen, I got to run for a break, but welcome to the show, and thanks for the call. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware, if you or 60 or
or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I want to tell everyone about my chiropractor, and he can be your chiropractic physician too, and that's Dr. Appleton. Remember, with Dr. Appleton, appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays, okay? And I've been telling his laser wave pain treatment works, guys. I mean, he's changed my life. I can now be, I'm so much more active. Every time Elon Musk launches a rocket into outer space, I climb up on the roof and watch it. My house is directly due south of Cape Kennedy, and I get great view of the launches. You might have seen me on YouTube filming some of them. I couldn't really do that before. Climbing up on the roof hurt. You know, not anymore. That recent accident I was in on my skateboard, that was bad, man. I tell you, when you get a little older, the falls hurt worse, right? They just do. And the laser wave pain treatment, the pain in my shoulder, gone. It has not returned. He rid me of my arthritis pain. You know, when I went to his office last, which was 2 weeks ago tomorrow, for a follow-up for my laser wave pain treatment, I met a lot of our listeners to the program, and a couple people were there for their follow-up treatments, and they're pain-free too. And one guy said, Brian, I just couldn't believe that it could work that well. And here I am to tell you that I am pain-free. It's amazing. Give Dr. Appleton a call. Now listen, when you call, if you need directions, he'll text directions to your cell phone, okay, to his office. His number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online at AppletonChiro.com. All right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Is that you there? I think
It is me. Yes. Who else would it be? Who else you calling?
Well, it's so anyway. Good morning, Brian. How are you?
All right. Yes, Barbara in Baltimore.
I wanted to talk about the GBI strategies, big voter fraud thing that was uncovered.
Yeah.
However, I'm very disturbed that the soldiers at Fort Hood, one of the largest bases in the country, and a very important base at that. And it's really upsetting to know that our soldiers are going to have to, or going all over the place to buy food, and they don't have chefs to cook for them because Fort Hood has soldiers of all ranks, meaning a lot of them are very dependent on living on base and also.
Well, my guess is that the chefs for the officers are on base. It's the chefs for the enlisted probably that are been sent to the border. Yeah.
So I'm talking about, my husband was an officer. He was the CO when we were at Fort Hood.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking, I am referring to the soldiers. I mean, my spouse was enlisted up to E5, so I guess he's what you call a soldier's officer.
Mm-hmm.
At least a lot of the soldiers, he got along with them really well and understood them really well. So, and my concern is about the buck private, the people up to E4 who are suffering because of that.
They depend, when you join the service, there's some certain guarantees that you're given, okay, for the loss of freedom and the risks that you take. And one of them is 3 squares a day, exactly. And they're not, and now, I don't know what a typical workday is like for an average soldier at Fort Hood in Texas, but if they have to drive an hour round trip for a meal, I don't know. I don't know how relaxed they are in their lunch hours, but they got to be tired when they go to lunch, and to have to drive an hour round trip. Come on.
Well, I can tell you this. I've never worked as a civil servant, but I do know that soldiers work hard. Soldiers work hard. They're up. They do PT. They have their breakfast. They're out there. They have their missions, and they're all mission oriented, and that's what they do all day. And one of the I remember every place we've ever been, my husband hated having a lot of civilians working for him. He preferred having soldiers because they have a mission, they get it done. So soldiers work hard, and they deserve to be.
Well, and they're young, and they're doing physical work, and they need a lot of calories. And you know, what I was talking about yesterday is I'm glad PJ. You know, I give PJ a hard time. PJ is a writer with newsbusters.org, which is one of the premier conservative online news outlets and has been around for over 15 years, okay? And a lot of people read Newsbusters, and I hope he can get this in Newsbusters. Crediting me, I do appreciate too. But this is something that's easily investigated. I don't have the resources to do it, but a lot of people in media do. Breitbart can do it. Breitbart's got an outlet in Texas, Breitbart, Texas. James O'Keefe, I forget Fox News, you know, but...
Audience. You have a huge audience, and this audience, everyone here needs to realize how important our soldiers are to us, and we need to call our representatives. I mean, Kevin McCarthy, all of them. Our people in Congress need to be looking out for our soldiers.
Well, this is something that, like, Matt Gaetz or Marjorie Taylor Greene would get to the bottom of. So, you know, if somebody's listening that can get one of them on the phone, or, you know, if someone's listening that's in the campaign, get word about this story to Marjorie Taylor Greene, to Matt Gaetz, and they'll get to the... See, one thing I've talked about for a long time with the southern border, when you have a migration of people this large, there are military people organizing it at every step of the way. There's a supply chain that is necessary. And if you watch... Exactly. And that's right. That's right.
Eat until they're full. They don't just order. It's not like going to a restaurant, you putting out of your pocket to buy food. And you know, when they're in the mess hall, they eat as much as they want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They eat as much as they want, and they go ahead and...
But and you know, the thing that this is another example of Joe Biden, like everything else, putting others before Americans. And there's no, you know, and PJ, when he said he couldn't find anyone else, when I knew I was going to bring this up yesterday, and what my original, I was talking to Steve about it after the show, because he was like, the story was really upsetting to him. He's got a son who's in the service, and I was telling him, I said my original plan is to ask people why they think this is happening, but I didn't think people would figure it out that easily. Not that the audience isn't smart. We got a smart audience, but it's an outside the box kind of thing, and if when you put it all together, there's only one conclusion you can make, and if
they're neglecting the soldiers, I mean, if they need, they're using the chefs. What other personnel from the military are they using? What about the medical? What about the, you know, we have a large military. What are they doing about all the medical conditions? There's military people probably down there and taking care of those.
But see, the reason that this story is an important story with the chefs is because the Military Times is reporting that soldiers. See, the reason I know it is what it is because it's not an army post in Georgia. It's in Texas. It's an army post close to the southern border. That's why I know it wasn't some base elsewhere. So this particular aspect of it with the cooks is the one to focus on, because what the Military Times is reporting is that the soldiers are actually going hungry and without food because it's not being made available to them on base. So they're actually, you know, other things, well, our tax dollars, it muddies the issue. You got to focus in like a laser beam that we have soldiers working hard all day at Fort Hood, which, by the way, was the scene of a massive terrorist attack, if you guys remember, with Nadal Hassan. Okay, so yeah, I know. I'm surprised he doesn't get his pension. Has he made general yet? You know, that he was, yeah. But anyway, back to this. So it's best to focus in on the cooks and the hunger at Fort Hood, not get into, well, the medical and our tax dollars. We have U.S. soldiers that are going hungry at Fort Hood because Biden has sent the Army cooks, and the food to the southern border for criminals because they're illegal aliens. To be here is a criminal act.
Wow.
And that would resonate with people. Listen, I got to run for the break, Barbara, but I appreciate the call. All right, because that's how we eat, by taking breaks. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. So it's going to be up to about 94 again today. Partly cloudy skies, chance of afternoon showers and storms. A heat advisory is up, so a little less than the status of the last couple of days, but impact weather with heat indices, again, well into the triple digits. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
In the White House. Well, you definitely have made a case that the people who are around President Biden in terms of the lobbyists and his son Hunter have trafficked on that connection to the then Vice President, now President. But I haven't yet seen any evidence that the President...
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to play this when we get back. This is Jake Tapper saying he doesn't see any evidence of any Biden crimes. Interviewing Comer. Unreal. I'll take a couple calls first, but then I'll play that. I know it's insanity. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness, I tell you. Audie Murphy? Awesome. I love Audie Murphy. I just watched the Audie Murphy story not too long ago.
And would love to make you a no-obligation cash offer on your home. If you own a house, condo, or any other type of property and want to sell it quickly with no hassles, call me at 561-570-7070. We've been buying houses since 2011 and helped hundreds of homeowners sell their homes without the hassles and costs of listing with an agent. We're rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau and have over 100 excellent online reviews from our happy sellers. People love working with us, and so will you. Whether you have a damaged fixer-upper home or a beautiful home that doesn't need any repairs, we can buy it. You don't need to clean or fix anything, and there's no commissions or closing costs.
I'm going to get to this before I take calls because we're getting towards the end of the show. I won't get... well, that's why they don't like small donors.
That's 561-570-7070. 561-570-7070.
Chowderheads in Jupiter? If you're looking for the best seafood, farming fresh from Boston, then you have to try Chowderheads. They have weekend summer specials too. Fridays are for fish fry with slaw and fries, only $15.95. Saturday's special is prime rib served with mashed potatoes and haricot vert for $34.95.
Starving.
Enjoy bottomless mimosas on Sunday for only $19.
Yeah, well, Audie Murphy's awesome.
Chef's unique brunch specials. Chowderheads is open 7 days a week and located in
Let's see. Yes or don't. Who knows? Is there anyone who does not know who Audie Murphy is? Don't say who he is. Is there anyone who doesn't know who Audie Murphy is? They don't teach about these things anymore. Audie Murphy was a super amazing person. He's no longer with us. No, I didn't know. It was fine. Everybody knows Audie Murphy. You don't know? Oh, my goodness. He was the most decorated U.S. soldier in the Second World War. And, yeah, highest decorated soldier in the Second World War. And he went in as a private, came out as, I believe, a lieutenant. He got promoted pretty fast, too. He had so many medals he couldn't even hardly stand up. And then after the war, he became an actor, became a movie star, made a bunch of movies. And he was not bad in the movies. He played himself in the Audie Murphy Story, which is what I watched not too long ago.
And yes, we are giving away free cruises for two. See you Tuesday from noon to 2 p.m. at Pure Wellness Medical in Boca. 9033 Glades Road, Suite 200B at Addix Medical Aesthetics.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right, welcome back. Call us on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. I want to play this audio before we take some more calls because we're running towards the end of the show and I'll run out of time. This is Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper had Comer on, and this is their new talking point about the Biden crimes, the bribe money. Now keep in mind, they found the money, they got the bank accounts, right? But their new thing is, well, there's no evidence. So listen to this. This is Jake Tapper on CNN yesterday with Comer. If it'll play. Because I know it's here. I know it's here. Why is it not playing? Come on, come on. All right, let me take a call while I'm figuring that out. Oh, boy. Live radio, people. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chairman and Doug. Okay. You know, you talked about Como, right? They say they're going to bring in the Bidens in by subpoena if possible. I'm thinking that Biden's going to say, forget it, just ignore it, and the Justice Department will back them up, and they'll never get in front of Congress. I don't know, man. That's how corrupt I think our government is now.
Listen, Joe Biden is not going to go to jail, okay? He's a Democrat, and Hunter either. I mean, only Republicans go to jail if their name is Trump. All right, take care. I think I got it queued up now. If not, we'll not try again.
Well, you definitely have made a case that the people who are around President Biden in terms of the lobbyists and his son Hunter have trafficked on that connection to the then vice president, now president. But I haven't yet seen any evidence that the president did anything wrong.
Ugh.
You talk about Devin Archer, Hunter Biden's former business partner.
Okay. There's no evidence. Well, his lifestyle is evidence. You know, typically spies that they've caught, and they've caught several FBI spies. And by the way, this is how they also got Jonathan Pollard. Okay? They catch spies because they start to have a lifestyle that doesn't match their salary, their government salary. Right? All of a sudden, an FBI guy, he's wearing Gucci shoes and driving a Jag to work, right, at the FBI office. Be like, how's he affording that? Well, he's a spy, all right? Aldrich Ames and all those spies we used to hear about. That's how they caught on to those guys, was their lifestyle. That's right. Hey, it's what it is. And you look at Joe Biden's lifestyle. How did he afford to have multiple homes? How has he afforded the lifestyle that he and his mob wife have become accustomed to? Like Donald Trump, Mar-a-Lago is the largest home in Florida that has people living in it. Vizcaya, I think, is the largest in Miami, but that's a museum. Donald Trump has golf resorts. He has a massive airplane, a massive wealth, skyscrapers, and all kinds of things, right? You never question it because you know how he made his money. Hotels, The Apprentice, all kinds of other dealings. We know, nobody even questions it. But the evidence, even though they have the bank accounts and everything else now, and they have all these monies that Hunter was given, by the way, the laptop details the distribution of the money laundering operation that Hunter Biden, who was he was the car wash in Breaking Bad, was how Walter White was laundering his drug money. Hunter is Joe's car wash, right? He launders the money through Hunter. The laptop details all of it, but this is their new thing. Nothing to see here. There's no evidence. Come on. His beach house is evidence. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Pete Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying about Joe Biden. I mean, it's just disgusting everything he's doing and the weaponized, politicized FBI and everything. But the main reason I called was I lived in Nashville for over 45 years, and I retired and come down here. But Audie Murphy, a friend of mine named Billy R., he played piano for old Dave Dudley, who had 6 days on the road, and blah, blah, blah. But he knew Audie Murphy, and he said one time, him and Audie Murphy and Dan Blocker, who was on Bonanza's Hoss, they were all...
Yep.
And but he was a country songwriter. He had a...
So you have some old friends. You have some old friends hanging out with Dan Blocker and Audie Murphy. Those guys have been dead since I was a little kid. Yeah, I know.
He said Dan Blocker drank whiskey by the...
Dan Blocker was Hoss on Bonanza, for those that don't know. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But anyway, I just thought I'd call. I listened...
We were talking about we were talking about Audie Murphy during the break in the live chat. That's why he's calling in, and I was surprised how many people didn't know who Audie Murphy is and no clue. Because
I hold him very high.
Well, Audie Murphy. Just tell people real quick. Audie Murphy was the highest decorated U.S. serviceman in the Second World War. He went in as a private, came out as a lieutenant. And then, if you ever go see a picture of Audie Murphy, I don't know how the guy stood up. He had more medals on his chest than those Soviet Union guys. And then he went on and had a movie career. He was a movie star, but what did him in wasn't the Nazis. It was his alcoholism and fame. But anyway, I was surprised how many people in our chat room did not know the name Audie Murphy. They don't teach things about all that people learn now about America is that slavery, lynching, slavery, Trump's evil. That's all they learn.
The younger people these days, it surprises me. It just completely blows my mind how they do not know anything about the sacrifices, the life that they gave from the beginning of this country until now. They don't know anything.
Well, that's why when this education thing in Florida came up a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about how blacks benefited from slavery and people got upset. Everyone in this country is even with the Democrats wrecking this nation and the socialists turning us into a communist state. This is still the greatest country in the world, and we all of us have benefited from people of the past. And among those are blacks in America are benefactors of slavery because they're here in this great country because of it. That doesn't mean slavery was a good thing. I was watching a documentary on the building of the Intercontinental Railroad, a new documentary the other day. My goodness. You know how many people sacrificed and died just for these things like this around the country that are forgotten because all that we're taught now in American history and movies about this country is how evil this country is. The hate. When I was young, and I used to hear Republicans, Ronald Reagan and that era of Republicans used to talk about the hate America first crowd. And I was a kid. I said, come on, they may be liberals, but they don't hate America. And now they do hate America. They do hate this country. I mean, look at this Brittany Grenier, this Black Lives Matter weirdo that was imprisoned in Russia. right? She's all into this BLM and hate America and, you know, Plymouth Rock landed on us stuff. She comes back after a little vacation in Siberia, and she stands for the anthem now. And she could do so much good, Brittany Grenier, you know, but she's afraid she'll lose everything if she speaks her mind.
Yeah, because a lot of those wouldn't even be where they're at if it wasn't for woke agenda, you know. And so they're not going to speak out against it, because then next thing you know, she'll be like Kaepernick. She won't be anywhere.
That's exactly right. All right. Well, hey, listen, welcome to the show and welcome to Florida.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Take care. Take care. All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Ivy and Brian. Hey, Brian.
All right. What's up?
What really triggered me was the Doritos with you and Kathy on the podcast yesterday. But Audie Murphy is one of my guys, because I grew up in westerns. I love watching a western Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, me too.
So for you people who don't know who he is, go watch a western with Audie Murphy. This guy basically saved his whole battalion by being on a tank that was about to blow up, defending the Germans coming on a full frontal attack. And he managed to use that I think it was the 50 caliber, or the 80 caliber, and he managed to hold them off until the help came in. Anyway, I love Audie Murphy. The other thing I called in about was the Doritos, the cost of living, everything going up in prices. A couple of months back at the beginning of the year, I mentioned to Jay in Jersey to record the prices of whatever he buys at a certain point. Until the presidency, we're not even close yet. We've got another year to go. I was trying to be humorous because he needs a cigarette and a Tennessee. The bottom line is just look at Brian himself, the guy that works hard for a living, that entertains us, that gives us the information, that lets us know what's going on, and he cannot afford to buy Doritos and don't have insurance. Thank you very much.
Isn't it wonderful? Isn't America great?
I'm an old Henry guy. Then Snickers came, and then I used to be cheese doodle guys, and then Doritos came. I love
what he's talking about is my wife ordered groceries yesterday on Instacart, and I was shocked to learn that the bag of Doritos, I loved the sour cream Doritos. The Doritos are over $7 a bag. And I was like, I'm done with, that's my last bag of Doritos till Trump's back in office.
A little homework for you Democrats, especially the liberals. Not all of you Democrats are bad. I'm talking about the liberals. I want you to find an old Robin Hood movie, a black and white Robin Hood movie, and see the life of the peasant. That is what they want for us.
Yes.
How to detect that kind of living in the country the way things.
That's right. Listen, I gotta run for a break, but good call. Thanks so much. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll break and be right back. All right, and it's time for the final gold and precious metals report of the week with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated. Good morning. How are the metals looking this morning?
Metals looking very stable at the low end of our trading range, just nicely above $1,900. Having tested that number twice now in the last few months, it seems like it's going to hold, and it looks like a great buying opportunity. Yesterday we saw gold close down just $1.60 after trading in a range of $1,911 all the way up to $1,931. Closing out the day at $1,911.80, down $1.60. Silver gained 4 cents yesterday, closing at $22.67, while platinum was up $19 at $906, and palladium gained $54 at $1,264. Gold this morning trading in a range of $1,910 to $1,921 so far, and right now at $1,916, that's up $4.20. Silver's down 2 cents at $22.65, platinum up $4 at $910, and palladium gaining another $50 at $1,300 the ounce.
Wow, that's amazing. How are the pricing going right now on the American Gold Eagles and the American Gold Buffaloes?
Yeah, they're all back to normal pricing. So great buying opportunities with gold down right now. You can it's very affordable to get in and buy the pure gold American Buffalo coins, gorgeous coins. They're 24 karat gold, and of course the gold Eagles, which are very popular.
The American Buffalo is my favorite coin. It is beautiful. It's 14 karat, right? 24 karat. So it's bright and shiny and it's gorgeous. And you know what we talk about sometimes, premiums are the price that the gold costs you, or the silver, the platinum, palladium, above the spot price. And because of the supply chain has finally caught up over the years, the premiums have gotten down to what are normal levels. So even at inflated prices, you're still getting more metal for your money in many instances, depending on, you know, what metal. This is a great time for gold, for silver, for platinum, and all the metals right now is just a great time. Give William Youngman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m. His number, 1-800-327-5010. And remember, no matter where you're located in America or the world, you can do business very easily with William Youngman over the phone. 1-800-327-5010. Online, williamyoungerman.com, or stop in. His store is at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
Thank you. You too.
All right, back after this.
Social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is...
All right, there's only one opening on the board where William Youngerman was at. I'll try to take these in the order in which they were received. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Alan.
Oh, yes.
I see that truck train is coming. It's still railing around the bend. Come January 2nd, Trump's political career will be coming to an end. When Trump was a baby, his mama told him not to play with guns. Some shot. Still watching that.
Really, I missed that. I missed that. That last little lyric. That you made that one up. I didn't hear that one. When did that happen? When did he shoot a man on Fifth Avenue?
It's a parody song.
A parody. Now listen. I don't know. Okay, I'm not into. I enjoy music, but I'm not a musician. For a song, and I'm going to ask you a question here, because I don't know the genre. Perhaps when I think of parody, I think of like Weird Al Yankovic, you know, people like that. For a song to be a parody, does it not have to have humor involved in it?
You don't find out a little something?
No. For a song to be a parody, doesn't it have to be funny? Because whatever that was I heard from you had no humor in it. So I don't know. Does it qualify as a parody if there's no humor?
Anyway.
Oh my goodness. Can't you think on your feet and even have an answer? All right. Yeah, bye. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Robin.
Yes, Robin. Robin in Texas. What's up?
Yes. First time caller. Been listening to your show for about a year. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big MAGA guy. Trump supporter.
I hear a boat coming.
I agree with you on just 99.9% of everything that comes up on this show, except for one thing. And that's why I'm calling in. I promise I won't sing. Okay?
Oh, thank you.
I just want to challenge you on something here. You keep saying that Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. It's going to deny. I know.
You know, after Trump.
Correct.
Tell me how you think we are ever going to country.
It's simple. I mean, it's not simple, but it's difficult. But it's a simple process of saying it. Electing Donald Trump, for his second term, okay, and of course electing whoever he endorses to be the second MAGA president in 2028. And as I said to a caller earlier in the show, what Trump can do, Trump's going to do a lot of things that are brilliant, great, and save this country. But the most important thing that he will do is appoint more federal judges. And I'm assuming in his second term, Clarence Thomas is going to retire so we can get a young guy to replace him and appoint good people to the Supreme Court. And good constitutionalists as federal judges and Supreme Court justices, that's how we save the country, because that's where those are the final arbiters of all of these things.
all that stuff, except I don't think that's all you need.
Well, I'm not going to get into what you're thinking because that's, I know where he's going, and that's not where we're going to go. Oh, boy. All right. Ugh. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Brian, how are you doing?
Right.
Brian, there's no question we have a major problem with our educational system in this country, and until we get a handle on this, we're just spouting out generation after generation now of people who basically hate the country. Now they got us from the kindergarten up, and we've got to get a handle on this. Even in California, I think I saw a poll yesterday, in a nut job state like that, 58% of the teachers wanted to get out of the profession completely. That's how bad it's become.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a major teacher shortage, not just in this country, in Florida. I saw a story on the local news in Okeechobee. They're having like teacher assistants and substitutes run classrooms now. And what we really need, the Moms of Liberty are doing great work. The Moms of Liberty, this is why they're after them, okay? They want to label them Nazis and domestic terrorists. They flipped some school boards in Florida from sellout school boards to parental conservative Republican MAGA school boards. We need a major recruitment drive for school teachers and college professors. In the Republican movement, what we do is which is a good thing, business and all that, but one of the reasons we have difficulty is because we've let the liberals take over the bureaucracy. Every government agency, every government job is probably a liberal. And we need to have a major recruitment drive of teachers at all levels from K through graduate school. That's what's needed. I mean, it's,
We had some incentives in place for people with military experience to become teachers. It might be a turning point.
Well, if they have a college education, I mean, I don't, but the problem is, when I went to college as an adult. So, and I talk about this sometimes. I have a dual major of a history and education, but specifically social science education. My major in education was to teach social studies, history, geography, and all that. And I remember I had this one professor who was a German immigrant. You could hardly understand her. It was like listening to Eichmann. But of course, she hardly missed a class by telling you that her father was not a Nazi. He was in the German resistance. Really, who was that? Who was that? Give me a break. Give me a break. Yeah, I know, with all the Jews in Boca, and she's at FAU. But anyway, I remember she brought this woman into class who was a guest speaker from one of these organizations who was on a college tour. And she had this big bag of candy, and she separated us by groups. And she gave each group candy. Some groups got more, some groups got a lot. I was in the group that was the most. And then she told us what the groups represented. And what the groups represented was consumption. And they taught us that the United States consumes the most, as if that's a negative thing, right? And so what happens is we're educating our teachers in liberal universities where they're learning communism. And we need more schools like Hillsdale that are not graduating attorneys or things, but are graduating elementary and high school teachers. And that's a big problem.
I think it would help if we had some type of reinstatement of the draft a little bit.
For what? To draft who? For what?
Get people more patriotic and more involved in the country.
Oh yeah, the draft. Yeah, that made people a lot more patriotic during the war in Vietnam. No draft, no draft. But the thing is we're graduating. All of our what's happened is the universities have always been liberal indoctrination centers. Now the grade schools are. And I mean, you see these teachers on TikTok who take the American flags down in their classroom and put up the transgender flags and stuff like this. I mean, they don't even... Well, we got to stop whining and do something. And to be proactive is we've got to recruit more conservative kids to be school teachers. I saw this conservative with one of the conservative big news outlets. I can't remember which one online the other day. Was on the streets asking young people what country was north of the United States. None of them knew. None of them knew. None of them.
They do that at the Ivy League colleges, and they don't know anything either. The street interviews.
Yeah, but I bet they know that Trump's a jerk, right? They'll tell you that.
They know that.
They know that one. Yeah, Trump's a crook. All right, take care. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. I don't have a lot of time here. I just really wanted to get your email address. Is it
Well, you can email me there. Kane Radio. That's Kane with a K, K-A-N-E, Kane Radio at yahoo.com. Yes, you can email me there. Well, we get a lot of email, and I try to answer all of the email, but we get too much. The best way to reach me out is, what do you want to email me? An essay. Well,
standards.
Okay, you know, the best way to get me is not through, well, if you put in the subject area in bold print, I called you on the radio. If you do that, I'll be sure, it'll be sure to stand out, okay? All right, I'll look for it. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, I heard you. I've been listening to your radio station, and I fairly enjoy it, but, when you start seeing stuff like Trump's a god and all this and all that.
Well, I didn't say Trump's a god.
Well, you worship the man.
I don't worship him. I love and respect him. I love and respect him.
You worship the man.
No.
He's a crook.
Oh, really?
Think he got that money. Listen, Trump, whole lot.
Okay, we only have 30 seconds left. How did he get his money? The old-fashioned way. He earned it.
He couldn't pay his taxes. He couldn't do anything until he started selling documents.
No. What documents did he sell? Who did he sell a top secret document to? Let me break some news here. Who?
Him and
No. What document did he sell and to who? Yeah, all right. Call me on Monday when you figure that one out. All right. We're out of time for today. I would have kept him on and had a discussion, but I only have 6 seconds left. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll see you Monday morning. Take care.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys. I got to run. Make sure you like the video, okay, before you go. Take care.